Hey guys, good afternoon. It's RG here from RG Studio 360 and welcome to our classic Boho super amazing 4Z's card class. What? I was going to say 4Z's. Anyway, so thanks again for joining us today. I hope you're excited. I hope you've had the opportunity to gather your materials and your supplies so that together we can create 4 gorgeously, ridiculously amazing cards today. Now, I hope you've had the opportunity to download your classic Boho digital download, as well as you've kind of played with your different shapes and sizes. Now, of course, everyone's is going to look a little differently based off of the color palette you selected and or the shapes maybe that you selected. We gave you a generic space and or size for each piece and shape that we use. That doesn't mean it has to be the one that you use. Most importantly, what we're going to play with today is the mixed media technique of being able to add color on top of color, even on top of colored cardstock. So be super excited about that. I know I'm super excited about that. But as of now, what's the dealio, guys? How has your day been going? It is Wednesday, even though it might feel like Friday to some of you, and some of you it might feel like a Tuesday because of a Monday that was a holiday that's officially now, yesterday was a Monday, then today was a Tuesday, but it really isn't a Wednesday because today is a Wednesday. Anyway, you guys catch my drift. It's super amazing to be able to spend some time at home, to be able to spend some time creating. Some of you might just be looky-loos today. You might just be watching. I know a few looky-loos out there. And sometimes that's the best way to learn. So I always actually do recommend, guys, maybe you just want to watch it first. And then later on kind of jump in and adapt it. At least that's the best way for me to learn. I like to watch first and then I like to jump in and try it myself. For those of you who are new to RG Studio 360, welcome to RG Studio 360. Here at RG Studio 360, we are definitely dedicated to bringing creativity to life. I hope you're excited and have had the opportunity to visit our website so that you can see all the different downloads that we offer, including an entire library of free downloads that you get to play with every single month. So at the beginning of the month, I launch a brand new free download so that you can create with us regardless of your budget. We also have 3 different club subscriptions for those of you who are more of an avid paper crafter. We have our card club, which is kind of similar to what we're doing today. Every month we get together and we create 4 gorgeous projects or 4 gorgeous cards with an exclusive digital download that goes live for just my card club peeps. What did I say?
I don't know. I don't think you said.
Oh yeah, it's always the second Wednesday of the month. Super exciting. And then we have our mixed media club for all of my mixed medias out there, where we create an amazing mixed media project the 3rd Wednesday of every month. That too is a club subscription. And lastly, we have our planner subscriber club peeps that meet on the 4th Wednesday of the month. So many different options for you to dive in and create alongside with us that it's going to be super exciting. Any questions for me, guys? I know some of you guys are going to catch the replay. For those of you that are catching the replay, welcome to the replay. I hope you're excited to be able to dive in and create these 4 gorgeous cards with us. Let's go ahead and go over to our overhead shot so we can do like a product review. This is our digital download that hopefully you've already printed out or will definitely print out prior to your creating your projects today. Now remember, guys, you do have the outline version as well as the mini version. If you didn't catch my live yesterday, I used the mini download to be able to create a cutie patootie card. So you'll have a variety of different options. There's always endless possibilities that you're not constrained. You don't feel restricted for your creativity can take on a gazillion different directions, and it's always so amazingly super fun. Now guys, I'm not actually going to color anything in today. I'm actually going to color after the fact because we're going to do a little bit of a watercoloring technique here. I'm going to opt to not use the outline version today because in case not everybody has a scan and cut, then I kind of want to show you that yes, you still very much can create alongside with us with our digital files. And I'm going to show you different ways to be able to do that. Now, one of the things I did ask for you guys to grab is some clear gesso. I'm going to be using this generic brand, Clear Gesso. It's a clear gesso. It actually allows you to be able to see through all the way through. Now it will have a grainy like finish, which is absolutely okay for this particular project share, because I do want that finish on my projects. Now we're going to create 4 gorgeous cards, and once we get crack-a-lackin' on here, they're going to go by pretty fast. It's going to come down to a little bit of drying time, so if you have a heat tool, you might want to bring one of those nearby so that you can actually you know, speed things up a little bit. I'm going to try my best not to hold on to you guys for the full 2 hours, but I can't make any promises because I tend to be a little long-winded, or so I've heard. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to split this in 2. I'm going to grab my scissors to remove my greetings from my actual imagery. One of the easiest ways to apply, in this case, my clear gesso is to do it directly to my paper so that it doesn't curl up on me. So I'm basically just going to come in here and do this little number. I am a very messy crafter, guys, so if you were expecting clean, it's not me.
Well, it has a little mixed media twist.
Yeah,
on there,
it's definitely very mixed media twisty-ish.
And then just real quick, just since you're saying that you're very long-winded, it's not so much long-winded, it's just that you like to really go into the teaching process.
Oh, you're just defending me because you love me.
But it's true, you do teach everybody new techniques and stuff. So.
Okay, so here's a tip for you guys. If you want a little bit of a little boost, a little heart boost, just work with your wife. She'll, well, if she loves you anyway. If she doesn't love you, then I don't know. But she just says that because she loves me. She's like, no, not really. Thanks.
I do love you.
All right. So here we go. I've added the clear gesso to my entire digital download, so or at least the artwork part of it. This is an important piece, guys, because again, if you've already cut them out, if you do happen to have a scan and cut, and you're going to take advantage of the fact that there's cut lines on there, then you can obviously do it that way as well. You simply just add the clear gesso once they're already cut out. And that's fine. For those of us who may not have a scan and cut, this is one of the easier ways to do it, because then you don't have the paper curling up on you when it's a lot smaller because of the wetness of the actual clear gesso. I'm just gonna grab a wet wipe real quick so that I can wrap my brush in so that it doesn't dry out on me, because I will be using a lot of clear gesso moving forward. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. Now, how many of you already cut it out, or how many of you want a demo on the scan and cut? I don't know. Most of my people have already seen me do it a gazillion times, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, guys, if you've already seen me do it a million times. While that's happening, I'm going to take advantage. While you get a minute to answer that question, I'm going to cut out my sentiments.
And then real quick, Sherry, she's so sweet. She says that we make a great team.
Thanks, Sherry. We certainly do. God knew what he was doing.
And then Darlene Topping, she said for some reason, well, I don't know, her screen is frozen, so I don't know, it might be her internet, but she did her cards earlier, and she's making these for Father's Day.
That's so exciting. Yeah, and then you know what's so sad about, I'm not going to say sad, can we switch over to our, so one of my concerns, I don't know if I want to call it a concern, but one of my limitations here is I feel like sometimes, because it's a digital download, I don't have a whole lot of flexibility on my sentiments. So in other words, every time you print out the page, you kind of have to print out all those sentiments. And so maybe you want 10 Happy Father's Days, but in order to do that, you're going to have to print out 10 pages. So I'm working on a couple of different things. I just kind of want you to know that, because one of the things about us is that I'm not just the vision for the company, but I really am a crafter. And so when it comes down to creating, I'm like, well, that kind of stinks. I need 10 of those. So I don't necessarily want to have to print 10 digital downloads to get my 10 Happy Father's Day. Not that I have 10 fathers, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving you an example
You don't have
of,
to have 10,
yeah, or like to give away to Mother's Day, maybe Mother's Day. So one of the things I'm considering doing, and I'm just kind of talking out loud here, is I'm considering of splitting the two, both the sentiments and the actual imagery. And around the corner in about 4 months, we'll have the opportunity to play with stamps and dies again. So maybe all of my sentiments will be turned into stamps only. So that way you can stamp as many as you like versus having to print them out. So just kind of food for thought in some of the things that I'm kind of thinking about considering. And I'm just going to start cutting these guys out. Yes.
So far I have no need for the scanning because a lot of them are fuzzy cutting. That's what I have so far.
Yeah, I kind of figured
Some already
so.
have cut them out. So.
If you've already cut it out, you are a super smarty pants and way ahead of me. But you know what, guys? I really try to do these on live camera for you guys so that you guys can see there's no trickery. We do it right alongside with you because there's some people who really do like to create alongside with us, and we want to make sure we give them that space that allows them to do that. And what's great is that if you ever catch this on a replay, you can speed up the boring parts like this one if you might be waiting.
So.
But it also
Ruby.
gives us a chance to chit chat a little bit more.
Yeah, so Ruby's on here.
Hi, Ruby.
So yeah, she's saying, yeah, how time flies, and then are you gonna do stamps again? So.
Yes, ma'am. That is the plan. As a matter of fact, it's just we're just waiting for that time to set, and we get the green light, and it's something that I'm very much looking forward to. I'm not gonna lie, guys. The other day, I was thinking about that, and I did shed a few tears because I was like, wow. For a while there, you know how you kind of become numb to certain things, and so I kind of had to force myself into this numb feeling of. You know what, I can survive. I'm okay. I can do this without stamps. I don't need stamps. And certainly it helped us get through most of this. But as I was thinking about stamps again in my life, I was like, oh my Lanta, there was that little piece, that little fire inside of me that kind of brought joy and excitement, and I can already envision my projects and or the various different techniques that I get to play with again. So that was exciting. I was excited that I actually still had that passion for it. I was wondering, if the course of this year was just going to kind of change my path a little bit, but it certainly has changed my path quite a bit, but all for the good. And I now have this amazing story where I get to merge these two worlds together and just make amazing happen. So anyway, guys, there's one thing that I can assure you is that God certainly knows what he's doing, and I'm just here along for the ride, God. I'm here along for the ride.
Like Ruby says, she's saying, yay, God has you in his hands. So true that.
Alright, guys, so I'm actually letting this dry, which is why I'm taking the time here.
We do have some are just watching, like Andrea Mills. She's just watching right now.
How's my little baby?
She's saying she'll get her stuff later because she doesn't even have the gesso.
Oh,
what?
MG, you're so fired. How's that little baby? How's little baby Quinn?
She's probably so big
OMG, she's probably like running around already. No, she wouldn't be walking yet, would she? She's still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tell us, is she running? Is she walking? What is she doing?
Is she jogging already like her mom? Is she doing marathons yet?
So we have Judy H. She says she's watching too right now. She has to leave in about half hour. So.
Hey Judy, thanks again for joining us for at least a few minutes before you have to jet out. But I can't wait for you to catch the replay as you get ready to create your amazing cards. Now, again, guys, I do apologize if in fact you were expecting me to be all the way done here, but I really do like to teach on the spot, and I feel that a lot of people truly enjoy that, because you'll notice how not error free I really am. But most importantly, it might give you guys some insight in regards to maybe how I do things, and you can always catch the replay to fast forward me to the good parts.
So real quick about Sacrament. So she's saying that the baby is doing well, but she is recovering from jet lag because they just came in from Europe.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that post. How was that Europe escape?
And the baby, so did I tell you the baby's just standing, not walking yet, so.
Yay. That was daring to take the baby on such a long journey.
Very.
But did you have a cup of tea while you were there?
And Judy, she says, I love that you take the time. It makes it easier when I'm able to create alongside the video.
Yay. Thanks, Judy. And it's for you that I'm doing this, Judy. And everybody's probably, and probably just Judy.
And what about us, they're probably saying.
Again, guys, for those of you who are not Judy, you can always fast forward me once it's done.
And Gail Thompson, she's saying
Hi, Gail.
this time she's working alongside you.
Yay, that means Gail didn't do her homework. She was like, wait, was there homework? She was like, I'm just gonna, RG's a little long-winded, so I'm just gonna take my time. All right, guys, one more sentiment to go, and we are pretty dry here on the big piece. Now, you do realize I have to cut those out too, right, guys? Just FYI.
Wait, what are you cutting? Oh, the parts.
The broom brooms.
The vroom rooms. So Andres says, it was amazing. She was quite the trooper through all the museums and
How
long walks
fun.
through amazing old cities.
Yay.
Oh, cool.
It is super cool. And it's typically a little bit cooler over there.
So real quick, Judy said, and when she gets impatient, she'll just speed it up.
Jeez.
Bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Bye. Judy's like, bye.
And Rose just joined us in.
Hey, Rose.
And she's working alongside too.
All right, guys. So all of my sentiments are cut out. Now I need to speed things up because I don't want Judy to leave me behind. And so the next part of our project share of our class today is I'm going to start to put my cards together. Now the first thing I want to do is kind of find where my cards go here. There we go. Regarding my kit. So I'm going to still set this guy aside. And I'm going to bring my first kit here. Now, if you are one of our club subscribers and you receive our kit in the mail, then this is kind of how your kit comes, right? Everything comes cut, ready for you to be able to just put together with us. And I'm going to grab my crease tool.
I'm using this. It's right here. If you're looking for it.
Are you creating over
I
there?
am.
How rude. You're not even paying attention to me.
I
You're
am
just
paying
creating.
attention to you. Paying attention to you and our guests. And I'm creating too.
Multitasker. All right, so I'm going to grab my Easy Glide runner. And I'm just going to kind of add my hexagon off the side here a wee bit. Like that. So you can see how just kind of all that is left over kind of hanging. I'm going to trim that off. And so that's kind of ready and set to go. So I'm going to kind of place this. I'm not going to adhere it on my piece yet because we're going to do a lot of mediums on that. So that's my first card. I'm going to take out my second card. This one has a couple more pieces. But I'm going to fold this guy in half. There's my card base. And I'm going to work on this particular piece. So again, I've got my hexagons. And I kind of want him to just pop out slightly here. I'll trim off that excess. Then I've got a longer strip here. I'm gonna trim this down slightly because Gabby left it a little long, thick. And I'm just gonna kind of create that slit. And I kind of want him to follow along the edge of my hexagon there, like super cool. So what's so cool about this class or these layers is that they're pretty trendy, like they're pretty modern, yet the images are pretty classic, which is kind of cool. So I do love that about this because it's like a merge of two worlds. It's kind of like the thing that I'm into the most. Is I'm into merging two worlds together, like this and that make a unique this, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna add that second layer right to the bottom. So just really cool, just kind of modern backgrounds that are gonna look really cool once we're done with them. All right, so that is my second card. I'm gonna kind of zoom out here a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my surface. I'm gonna bring in this card kit.
So Darlene Topping is sharing with us that she will be going to China in the fall for 3 weeks. Wow, she can't wait.
Oh my gosh, Darlene, that's a long time. I could barely handle one.
Now, is this your first time, Darlene? Because maybe that's a difference too, right? Like it's a new place. And
Well, it's also different if you're going for work or if you're actually
well,
gonna
true.
go.
Well, not really, because if you're going
enjoy.
for work, it's a whole different thing than if you're just going for.
That's what I mean. So that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
if she's going for fun,
Yeah,
then
it's
that's
different.
different.
And Corey.
Way different.
is joining
Hello,
us.
babe. I'm using
Yes?
like a whole strip down here. Awkward.
Oh, I didn't see that. Haha. Okay, let me go get that.
So just get me a little piece of. So, but what was Corey
Real
saying?
quick about Corey, he didn't do his homework, but I guess he's in San Diego right now, so when he comes back home,
Oh, must be nice, Corey.
he'll create his.
I'm gonna skip over to this one real quick because I'm missing a piece of cardstock for that other one. So this one, same thing. We're gonna fold this in half. And don't worry, we're gonna do a quick recap of all of our layers prior to starting any work on them. And I've got 3 different shapes that are gonna go on this one. Again, I want to be consistent. I typically like all my cards to kind of match a little bit. Not that the same person will ever get them all. So I'm not sure why, but I guess it just looks good in my class. And I'm gonna add a little circle here that I punched out. And it's gonna kind of come off the page a little bit. And then lastly, I'm gonna tuck in a little square, and I say tuck in because I kind of want to tuck him in to the back here, just like that. So just kind of fun layers, and that's gonna go right on top of this craft color cardstock. And now we're gonna work on that one piece. Thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna first start with a piece of yellow cardstock right at the bottom of the my card here. This one's a little bit larger, so we just gotta trim it down. And then I'm just gonna start adding layers. So the first layer that I'm gonna add is this pink one. Now in this case, I do want it to hang off the sides a little bit. So don't worry if it does, because I want it to be like off. Remember, I'm going for a modern background with a classic look. I'm going to bring my hexagon kind of like cattywampus a little bit. And then I'm going to tuck in that square again. Just off the side. Check it out, guys. So super crazy, kind of modern background. So right here, if this was kind of our card selection, you would think that something super modern is going to go on top of them. You know, they're just kind of basic shapes. They bring a lot of texture. They bring a lot of definition. They bring a lot of dimension. But not this case. This case, we're going to RG-fy this project share because we're going to bring a classic boho look into this project share. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to move these guys. We're going to move the card bases, because what we want to do is we're going to add the clear gesso to the top layer of this. So I'm going to go ahead and remove one of my craft pad sheets. I feel like I'm talking in like weird languages. Oh, is that baby Quinn?
Yes.
Can I show her on camera? Look at her, look at her. Sorry, I'm just baby showing off, Eee, she's so cute. Okay. Oh, she's so big. Wait a minute, it looks like she's walking. Why? And if she doesn't
She's
walk,
standing.
why isn't anybody out there?
You're like, wait, what?
Wait, is that a balcony? I have so many questions. All right, guys, so what I've done here is I've actually added some of the clear gesso to this. And I'm going to add it to the entire background here of my card fronts. Okay, so remember, guys, your layers might want to pick up a little bit. Don't you freak out. It's just paper. It'll come back to its senses once it realizes that you're not going to give it any treats if it doesn't cooperate. All right, so every single one, we're brushing on the clear gesso, just kind of like the way we did our download, okay? And again, guys, it's a little grainy. I guess it depends on which clear gesso you got, but it tends to be a little grainy. It's quite all right. What's so great about this is that it's going to allow us to add different colors on top of even colored cardstock. So don't fret if it gets a little curvy. My brush might be a little dirty, so it's releasing some old acrylic paint, but I'm not scared. You don't scare me, color. All right, so every single one has been covered in clear gesso.
So just so you know, they really do love the layers, the layering that you
So fun, right? And it's so universal too, guys. You can pretty much put anything you want on top of this, and you're gonna get a beautiful card every single time. You'll have the opportunity to just wow whoever's your recipients for your cards. All right, we're gonna set this aside to dry, and we're gonna come back and bring back our download. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is it's time to cut these guys out.
And then real quick, Darlene, that's going to China, they're gonna go see the Great Wall.
So amazing.
The Great Wall, the clay soldiers, and then the Nazi River, Yangtze River.
So exciting,
So
guys.
she's just gonna be going on tours and.
That's amazing, Darlene. I can't wait to hear all about it, see all your pictures. And I know you guys are going to have an amazing time. There's definitely, I recommend, I'm a tea lover, so I recommend that you try every local tea.
Like green tea?
Like there's all kinds of teas, but like all kinds of Asian teas, Chinese teas. It's amazing. Every time I go to China, that's kind of like the only thing I drink because I love all the different teas and they're just so fresh and you know what? Depending on what part of China you go to, they have some pretty amazing traditions in the way they drink their tea too. So I'll never forget when I went to China for the very first time, I was taken to this town where they're so particular about the way they have their tea, and it was pretty fascinating to see. And not just their tea, but their meals. Like they almost like they sanitize every single dish prior to eating from it right in front of the dinner table. It's not like something that they clean and then put away, but right in front of you or right in front of their families, they basically wash and rinse their dishes in boiling hot water.
So somebody asked, what size was that yellow piece?
So it's just the size of the card front, so it should be 4 inches by
two. It was 2.
2. So 4 by 2.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I do like to get pretty particular here. Especially when it comes to blooms and bouquets, because if you leave too much of a white border, it kind of takes away from your background layer. And I do like to get pretty close so that more of my background can show. I will say though, I've gotten way better. I used to have to go in with an X-Acto knife to remove all the teeny tiny little pieces. Remember those days? Mm-hmm. That's not cool.
They really love the hexagon shape on there too. And then Darlene, she said, I used the wood texture for her hexagon.
So amazing.
That's kind of cool.
Now remember guys, we're going to add color to this, so you're going to see a variety of different looks because they're not going to stay the way they look now. Part of this technique is showing you how to apply color when there's already color underneath. And that's one of the amazing things about clear gesso is that you have the opportunity to do that without being restricted to damaging your paper.
Oh, Kathy decided to finally join us.
Nice, Kathy.
She's cooking dinner. What's for dinner, Kat? So it was really, I really did miss this piece. Like I didn't even add it to the supply list. Oops. But I just let them know right now.
Sorry guys, Gab, that was a Gabby fail.
That was a Gabby fail, sorry. Missed it.
It's time like these I wish I could work sitting down.
Oh, would you like a chair?
Well, no, I don't know. I can't work sitting down.
Oh.
Plus, this is good for your posture because you can keep a straight back.
Ooh, Kat is cooking up chicken, rice, broccoli, and salad.
That does not sound good, Kat. What happened to
She's being healthy.
what happened to the chilaquiles or the pizza? You are making me sad. Almost, guys, almost.
So quiet now.
I know, it's the... Do you want to sing for us?
No. So Kathy's like, hello, I'm on a diet.
Whatever, Kat.
And your piece of cake didn't help.
Little sliver.
I know, she barely even
So
tried
dramatic.
it.
I don't even think she even ate my kebabs. See if I ever cook for you again, Kat.
She was busy trying to feed her baby.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, your baby was upset too. They're like, you guys promised me kebabs and I got nothing. So that's why he threw up all over the place.
TMI.
Alright guys, these are the hardest ones just because they've got so many different tiny little pieces. But I'll speed up a little bit once I get to the cars. Alright, so we're all set here. So now I'm just going to cut out my cars.
Andrea's like, aren't you nursing? You shouldn't be in a diet. To Kat. They're having their own conversation. Just letting you know.
Hello guys, this is about me.
She's just being a healthy mama. Just staying away from sugars and fats and greasy stuff.
Oh, well, you're no fun.
Oh, Judy's leaving us. Bye, Judy.
Bye, Judy. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, all you saw me was cutting paper. One more, guys. Although I have a feeling I did use one bouquet twice. You know what? I think I used all 3 bouquets twice. What? I have a stinking feeling.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I believe I did.
How many bouquets do you have? 3? How many come in the thing? 3?
Yeah, because were they asked to print 2 downloads?
I don't remember.
Yes.
That was so long ago. I don't remember. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Because I used
4,
1 card
5,
twice, so that makes perfect sense.
6. Yeah, you did. Well, you have another one right here.
Yeah.
Do you want me to cut this one out then?
Well, I need to put gesso first.
Oh.
Alright guys, so apparently I miscounted. I do need the second download as well. So I'm going to go ahead and prep it with some clear gesso. And then we're just going to start working on the projects with the pieces that we have. This is why we do lives, right? Because you can see not everything's perfect. But hopefully you guys learned some amazing stuff. So I'm adding a layer of gesso to my second download. It's the same one, it's just another one. Because I do use more than one of the download images. And that's the part that I was talking about, the sentiments, right? Because then you're stuck with all those extra sentiments and or vice versa. But this is easier because then these you can use in a gazillion different ways. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and then once it's dry, we'll jump on in with some of the cutting. All right, so it's now time to add some color to this using our watercolor palette. So I'm going to remove another.
Oh, see, Andrea, she's smart. She said she printed 2 because she did, and that's right. Your anniversary one has the 2 trucks.
Yeah, it has 2
So,
trucks.
yes.
I have a feeling we did tell
We
you guys
might
we
have.
needed 2,
I don't
so
remember.
it's just, you know, we're getting old. And I've got my colors here, and so I've got my water. I've got my water here.
Are you ready to go back to England?
I'm ready to go back to the UK.
Okay.
And I'm just going to grab a little bit of water. And again, I'm going to start with my red. I should zoom out again. Now, something that's kind of cool is first you can start watering your download. And then once you've added water, you can bring in that color. What's so great about that is that it creates a really cool weathered look. And I love that. I love that look. One of the things I love about watercoloring is that you don't have to cover the entire project. You basically want some areas to be darker than others, and some areas might stay white, and so it's okay wherever kind of it lands. Let me just add a little bit to that area here, and again I'm leaving some white, but it just kind of creates a really cool weathered look, guys. See how that looks? And it's just gonna dry that way. And you might lose a little bit of color, but that's okay. You can always come back and add more. But again, we're looking for more of that weathered look. And that gesso is designed to protect your cardstock. So it's not gonna tear, it's not gonna bubble. It might bubble a little bit, especially if it gets onto the other side where there is no clear gesso. But that's kind of that look that we're going for. So now I'm gonna grab my car here. Again, I'm gonna bring in that water. It's okay if it has a little bit of red. And I'm gonna grab a blue. gonna grab a darker blue. Check it out, guys. So again, it gives you that watercolor look because we are in fact watercoloring onto here. Just gonna kind of let this fall right back. And again, you want that change in color. Check it out, so cool. Move that color around till it kind of starts to settle along the edges. Love that. We're gonna do the same thing with our bouquets here. So basically we're gonna grab some water, kind of water it down. We're gonna grab some green.
So Christine McGarty, she said she covered her pieces with gesso, but I guess she didn't. If we didn't specify, I thought we did that it was clear gesso. So I guess she had the white gesso, so now they looked whitewashed. So,
And that's okay too. What's the name again?
Christine.
Christine. Yeah, you can. It'll still kind of show through, not as strong though, because yeah, you definitely want to make sure you use the clear gesso, so that you don't lose your imagery. Because the clear gesso allows you to see right through.
So she used the white. It's just gonna look really well.
It's just gonna look very whitewashed, yeah. Which might actually look very pretty as well. If you wanted to, you can also highlight some of those. But yeah, the call out was for clear gesso, I believe. I'm adding some yellow on here, guys.
I went back to look at the list. It says there.
And I love that yellow and that green together. And I'm also going to come back with just a touch bit of this red in certain areas. It'll just be kind of cool. And remember, some of that might just kind of go away. But it's just kind of neat how it all just kind of comes together. Beautifully. All right, so it's got a very big whitewash feel. I mean, watercolor brush feel. If you wanted to, you can bring in some of that gray. To your tires, or even some of that black. It'll just make them gray because there we go. All right, so I'm going to set this aside real quick to dry while I'll bring back my card bases, okay? So this is going to be drying here. I'm going to bring back my card bases because we're going to start to apply color onto these. Now I'm going to grab a different brush, more of a square brush. And the first one I'm going to work with is going to be a light blue because I'm going to create a little bit of a... Can you see what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like a cool, dirty sky look. And I'm going to kind of do that to all of them. I'm going to bring in that blue. And I love it. It's going to just intensify. One more. Yeah, please. Just bring in that blue, and I'm even adding that blue over that, the various different colors. Again, guys, don't be afraid of the colors and the paper, right? We're gonna let this layer dry. If you have a heat tool, this is a good opportunity for you to dry it a little bit faster. We're gonna kind of let this dry. We're gonna take a few minutes, babe. Should we take a few minutes just to let it dry? If anybody, because it's been about an hour, so I kind of like to give you a little break in between. So this is a good stopping point for just a few minutes. So I'm gonna let you go potty. I'm gonna let you stretch your legs. We're gonna let this layer dry, and then we come back. We're gonna wrap it up and finish all of these 4 gorgeous cards. I'll see you guys back in a bit. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope that your project is now pretty dry and you're ready for the next phase. Also that you've caught up on some of your coloring and some of your cutting. I'm about to get caught up right now because during the break I was cutting out all of those other pieces with the help of Gabby. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna push these to the side real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to my top, really big.
Sorry.
I'm gonna switch over to my top view to bring my second layer. And I'm gonna color these guys real quick. While these are already dry, and so they're gonna be ready for my next phase. I hope you guys enjoyed that potty break.
That potty break or getting a snack or catching up.
Catching up.
On my nose, we're still kind of working away.
We're just still crafting away. Crafternoing. I hope you guys are also crafternoing. Because it's the afternoon.
Oh, some places might be already nighttime.
Oh, that's right. For some of you guys, it might be nighttime. Well, you guys don't count.
What would that be? Craft the night? Okay.
Craft evening? Craftenighting? Craftenighting. That sounds like a disease.
Okay, why don't we just stop right there? Donna Blatz just joined us, so welcome.
Hi, Donna. Welcome. We're halfway through the class, Donna. So
I know she said I'm late, but better late than never.
that's absolutely correct. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we're just kind of finishing that second color on our flowers. I'm gonna bring in a little bit of the red as well. Gives it a nice little touch. I do like that yellow though, it's really cool and it'll pop a little bit more. And I might come in here and cut a little bit more inside of these blooms as I get ready to place them. And don't worry about coloring outside the lines because I made these images so dark that it doesn't matter. It's really just to add a highlight of color. I'm gonna grab my truck and I'm gonna start coloring it in the red.
What did you say? Christine said, "Hey, now, that's not very nice." Archie, what did you say? Wasn't very
Oh, I
nice.
think it was about the
nighttime.
nighttime or something like that.
Linda
Just
Gorman,
kidding.
she's saying it's 9 p.m. where she's at. Can't remember
9
where she's at.
p.m.
I can't remember where she's at.
She's in Ohio. Ohio? Not Ohio. Yeah, Ohio. Jiminy Smuckets. That's late. We haven't even had dinner.
We did have a late lunch though.
We did have a super late lunch. Actually, it was a breakfast and lunch, so let's go ahead and call
That's
it.
true.
Let's go ahead and call it brunch at 3 o'clock in the
Oh, very
afternoon.
late.
It was just such a crazy day. It's always a crazy day. I don't need this doom buggy.
Oh, so you just throw them like that?
Yeah.
If you don't need them. Oh, it's okay. I'll need it for some.
We're just kind of finishing our coloring here, guys. If you wanted to add a little bit deeper of that blue, because I think I kind of do, I'm just going to bring in a little bit more of that blue.
So Linda is in Ohio, and dinner for her was 4 hours ago.
Jiminy Smuckets.
Wow. I think that's when we had lunch. Our breakfast lunch.
You're probably waking up by the time we're going to bed. Just kidding. All right. So all of our cars and blooms are colored in, and we're just gonna let them finish drying. We're gonna do one more color here. We're gonna add a splash of yellow, okay? So let's go ahead and grab some of our lightest, brightest yellow because we want just some of it, guys. Not the whole piece. I don't wanna cover the entire piece. Just a little highlight. Just like that, okay? It's gonna look pretty cool, guys.
You're in a singing.
I am in a singing mood today.
Or humming, whatever.
Humming. Super cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. It gives it that mixed media vibe.
Yep, so all our peeps in the East Coast is 9 p.m.
Jiminy Smuckets.
Nighttime.
That sounds late. Like I'm tired just thinking about 9 p.m.
Time to go to bed.
Just kidding, guys, because the reality is that's kind of when I really have the opportunity to get to work. Is around 9 o'clock. Last night I was working until about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sad but true.
And it started super, super early. Again, this morning, as we're getting ready for our photo shoot, because our website's almost launching, the new one, the new version of it anyway. And it's going to be exciting to see it come to life. And I hope you're going to love it, guys, because it's going to have, some pretty photos and some amazing features where you can have access to education and things like that. So you don't have to go hunting for it all over the place. So super exciting.
Nikki finally joined us, so yay, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki, ¿cómo está? Muchas gracias. Buenas tardes.
Should like answer everything.
All right, so we're gonna let these guys dry a little bit, just real quick. I might help speed up the process here a little bit because it's all I have left. Now remember, guys, you can play with a variety of different colors too. Like, it doesn't have to be these colors. You can decide to add reds or greens, just depending on what you're making. That clear gesso really allows you to dive in and create amazing projects, even though there's colored cardstock on top underneath that. So it really changes the perspective of your colored cardstock, which is really, really cool. So I'll show you a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So see how we've got the green and the yellow, the blue and the yellow over this blue piece of cardstock. I absolutely love that. And check this one out too. Super amazing. All right, it's time to start creating our layers. When in doubt,
pop it out.
Pop it out. We're gonna pop this guy right out. And we're gonna start with the one on our craft color cardstock. So I'm gonna bring in some foam squares here. I might actually need a new pack.
Like right now? Or like later? I think that means right now.
Kind of. I'm going to run out pretty quick. Okay. So here we've got one. Now I'm going to bring in my black one. It's okay, Axel. She'll be right back. You're such a crybaby. He's all crying. Oh, where did she go? Oh, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. He saw David and he's like, who's that?
All right, and then we're going to review all of these here in a second for you, okay? And then we've got the last one on yellow cardstock. All right. So this is what we should have, okay? The black cardstock with the hexagon and the little red square popping out. The oversized pink strip is on black. Then we've got the dark brown with the regular just one hexagon kind of off the page. Then I've got the yellow with the hexagon and the yellow strip going one way and the pink strip overlapping. And lastly, we have the craft color cardstock with my hexagon, my pink circle that's been snipped off, and of course a little peeking square of red. So that's kind of what we have here for layers and pieces. It's now time to start embellishing and bringing these projects to life. So one important detail here is going to be some regular twine. I did use regular twine, and I basically like to create the bows ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bow. I showed this yesterday on my video. I'm going to show you again in case you are new to me. If you're new to me, welcome, and so sorry for you because we're about to get crazy creative, and your life will never be the same again. Ta-da! Just kidding. All right, so super simple to do a double or a triple bow. In this case, I'm going to do a double bow. But you can do a triple bow if you want. You basically have your ribbon. You're going to grab it with your thumb and your middle finger. And you're going to bring it around your index finger. And then towards you, around that middle finger. So again, around the index finger, towards you, around that middle finger, back around that index finger to create your first figure 8. This is your second layer on the middle finger. In other words, you should have 2 strands around the middle finger. I'm sorry, the index finger. And now you're bringing it back to create 2 strands around the middle finger. This will give you a double bow. We're going to trim that off. We're going to bring the tail end right in between your fingers. And we're going to grab that same end with our string. And this is where we're going to tie that knot. Nice and tight, you have a double bow.
Ta-da!
Ta-da, super simple. Now you can do this with any ribbon, guys. Satin ribbon, silk ribbon, organza ribbon. It all works the same. It doesn't have to be twine, but you have a gorgeous double bow. I'm going to do it 3 more times. I'm actually going to do a triple bow so you can see what I'm talking about. So again, I got the end of my twine around that index finger, back towards the middle finger, second loop around the index, second loop around the middle, that's my figure 8, third loop around the index, third loop around the middle. Snip that down. We're going to grab this tail end. It's going to go right in between my fingers. And then it's going to grab this end and pull. Okay, super simple. I now have a triple bow. Look at that. Would you look at that? Super simple. And beautiful, especially if you make thicker, if you choose thicker ribbon, you have a triple bow. So I need a couple more bows.
So Leslie says beautiful cards.
Hey Leslie.
And Nikki loves the double bow, and Melody's saying that okay, definitely she's gonna have to replay to see that bow again.
It's so fun, Melody. You're gonna absolutely love it. You're gonna be addicted, might I add. I guess I did a triple bow.
Double, triple.
If you're into figure skating, you're triple axel, double axel.
What?
All right, so it's now time to bring it all to life, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and start with card number 1 here. And we're gonna start with this one closest to me. And I'm gonna grab my little red bug. So So cute. We're going to, when in doubt,
Pop it out.
pop it out. We're going to pop this guy right out using some foam squares. I do like to use a lot of foam squares for this, especially because it's got medium on top of it. And I just kind of like to smooth it all out. I'm going to snip off its butt just slightly so that it can come off the page there. Look at that. So fun. Excellent. Now I'm going to add a little bit of tape here to bring in that triple bow. Adhere it down. I love it. I can adjust anything that needs to be adjusted. Like maybe I want this guy coming down, so that's, now would be the time to adjust it. Then I'm gonna grab my bouquet here. Let's say I'm gonna go with, ooh, this guy. No, not this guy. Where are you? This guy. Love that. Absolutely love that. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy out as well. On both sides, I'm gonna put just a little out on the sides of my bow because it'll help hold that bow in place as well. But check that out. I just love the way that twine just kind of adds a little extra level of fluff. And we get to add a sentiment on here. Let's cut these down into smaller strips. And I'm going to grab the grateful for you. Now, of course, you can pick and choose whatever sentiment you like, guys. Whatever's going to be more useful for you. So cute. Love it. Excellent. We can move on to our next card here. I'm going to bring in this black card that is really, really cool. It's got more of that super cool, trendy diner vibe. I call this a diner vibe. Reminds me of Mel's Diner in Beverly Hills. Love that place.
That's fun.
It's cute, right? Doesn't it remind you of Mel's Diner?
Yes, it does. Now that you brought that up, yes.
No, it makes me want to go order some pancakes or something.
Let's go. Oh.
Vámonos.
Road trip.
Road trip, Mel's Diner. Na, 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 na. Okay, so here we go. He's like going up Mel's Diner. And we're going to grab a little bow here as well. Super, super amazing. I love it so much. I'm going to bring in my foam square. To kind of decide which one I want here. Do I want this one? Kind of want the one with the big flowers. Is that the one I already used? Maybe this one.
So Christine, she just finished coloring. Wait, you know how she's the one that had the white gesso.
Which Christine is this again?
McCart.
Hi, Christine.
So she said it works just fine. Her bug card actually looks red.
That's so, yeah, because the clear, so that's the difference. The white gesso is actually going to prepare the surface. So it's going to look like a full, the color is going to be vibrant because there's nothing distracting it from the background. So that's the great thing about clear gesso, which is why we use it a lot in our mixed media classes, because it really helps intensify the color on top. It doesn't sink to the bottom. In other words, in a clear gesso or in a regular non-gessoed project, it tends to eat up color. White gesso is going to help keep the color on the surface of the project. So that's really, really why you get that extra vibrant look. So cool, though. I can't wait to see it. Now I want to see it. I'm going to use this as a Father's Day card myself. from my daddy. And then I'm going to use this guy here. So I'm going to use the Happy Father's Day sentiment. So cool. I really do think it has that diner vibe. Doesn't it? Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my pickup truck. I'm going to take off the little bumper just slightly, just to flatten it. And I'm going to bring it all the way to the edge. So super cool. Now for this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a double whammy. So I'm going to grab that triple bow. I know I had created another triple bow. Nice and fluffy. And I'm going to place that right over the door here. But this one also has an extra one that I'm going to tuck in on the back of the pickup. Just like that.
Super cute.
So just really cool. Like it's just a boho mess, this one. It's just kind of got all kinds of love over here. And you've got several sentiments to choose from, of course. I'm going to use this as a birthday one. Birthday.
So they're loving that Father's Day card, and Sherry says that truck is awesome.
The truck is gorgeous, right, guys? I mean, I just love everything. I think that's like from Disneyland.
I don't know, but I think it's time for us to
Look,
go.
guys, happy birthday. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Uno más, guys, uno más, and then we're gonna, when it matters, splatter. We're gonna splatter. Now this one's really cool because it's an anniversary card, so I'm gonna grab his and hers. What? I'm not sure which one. This has to be the guy because it looks too masculine, and I guess the girl has to be the truck. Sorry. So I'm gonna chop the tail of the truck up. But I think it's so cool for an anniversary card to bring in these two cars, you know, just kind of cool. So I'm going to start with my truck. Then I'm going to bring in my car. Look how cool that is. And now I get to bring in all my beautiful flowers. And it gets to come to life. I'm only going to bring the twine to one project because I don't want to muddy it up.
Leslie says the truck reminds her of her dad's 56 Ford.
Aww. That's awesome. I do love images that remind you of something special or a special time. I do love that so much. All right, guys. So here we've got that, and of course, because it's a double, I'm gonna go with an anniversary card again, just because it's so much fun to be able to send that to someone special celebrating something special. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit higher here. Check that out. I am so in love with these cards, it's ridiculous. Let me just kind of pick up my mess a little bit here. I'm going to zoom out so you can see all the cards. I've got a little bit of a mess going on here because I'm a messy crafter, like I said. I knew that this room would not look like that for a long time. And let me just kind of make some space here.
It was nice while it lasted.
It was good. It was nice while it lasted for sure. And then we're going to splatter these real quick, guys. You know how when you just pick up a room and you promise yourself, you know, I'm going to be neat this time. I'm going to be neat this time. I'm not going to make a huge mess. As soon as I make a mess, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going through that phase right now. I assure you, it will not last. Before I know it, I'm going to be like, I'm just going to start shoving the mess to the side until I've got, you know, like those games that have those coins that fall? That's exactly what's going to happen. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of acrylic paint. Just on my palette here. Just a tiny bit. And I'm going to use the same brush, add a little bit of water to water it down. Maybe a little bit more. And then we're just going to add drops of paint here, drops. Totally, I'm feeling that Mel's Diner vibe here.
So Ruby says, Richard, we need a couple of sheets of just sentiments.
It's coming, Ruby. It's absolutely coming. And our cards are done, guys. They're done, and they're gorgeous, and they're beautiful, and they're amazing. And now I have 2 sets of these cards, and I hope that you have one set that you absolutely adore and you love. I can't wait to see them. Please, guys, as soon as your cards are done, post them on social media, tag us, share them so that I can see them. That's the only thing I miss about teaching my classes, is that I had the opportunity to walk around and see everybody's projects come to life and actually see your finished creation. And that's the only part that I miss, because unless you share on social media, I have no way of seeing your beautiful, beautiful projects. So hopefully you're sharing them so that I can see them, and that you've learned a lot, and that you've played a lot, and that you've created alongside with us. I try to get you out early. I feel like I'm going to win here at least a few minutes. And I hope you had fun. Any questions that I missed? I know some of you are going to be catching the replay and that you fast forwarded through all the boring parts. And I just revealed some major life secrets, so you might want to go back and see when that was. Just kidding. But they're like, why am I listening to this? But anyway, guys, I had a blast creating these amazing cards alongside with you. I want to thank you all so much for registering for this class. I hope you had fun. If you did, please share how much fun you had, so that hopefully our community continues to grow. And we can continue to inspire others to create the life they want, as well as make amazing happen. Guys, no more questions? No more questions, no more questions, no more questions, no more questions.
I don't see any questions, just they love the cards, and you sure made it look very easy.
It's so much fun, guys. And remember, just continue to create, continue to have a blast. Thank you so much for sharing us with all of your crafty friends, so that our family can continue to grow, our community can continue to grow, and we can continue to make amazing happen. So stay tuned, guys. Remember to join me tomorrow evening for our live on Facebook, where we're going to create a little planner fun using our newest download, Fairy Days. So stinking cute. It's been a blast being able to spend some time with you guys this afternoon. Thanks again for creating with us. Remember to continue to create the life you want and make amazing happen. Buenas noches.